What do you get if you put in a pot the story of Dances with Wolves, Fern Gully, The Matrix, Aliens, and you just stir up the pot real good, and then you'll get 2009's Avatar. But before we get into our review, guys, if you want to learn how to save money in gas, groceries, restaurants, check the description below. It's not a sponsor. We don't get any kickback from it. It's just our saying thanks for our viewers of watching and listening. Also, you want to be a superhero? Check the description below on how you can save a life or two. Spoilers, I just finished watching it on Disney Plus because since it's originally a Fox entity, they bought Fox and now they have it on there. Have you seen it recently or no?
Just finished it today too.
All right,
It's
good.
almost 3 hours long. It's
Yeah,
stupid long. I
right.
get
But I
it.
think it's
I
mainly
understand
the credits and all that stuff.
No,
All right.
even without
So
the credits, it's over 2 hours easy.
I had not seen it pretty much since it was released back in 2009. So I just recently saw it. I just knew or know that I wasn't impressed with it. I mean, visually, it's beautiful. It's stunning. You can get captivated by the technology they use to get this world alive,
Hmm.
or to bring out this world. But the story, I've seen it several times. I've seen it with, as I mentioned before, Dance with Wolves, Fern Gully, Little Big Man, which is with starring Dustin Hoffman back then,
You could basically
The
take
Matrix.
they've done that story time and time and time again. It's like they've pulled it from so many sources. You could throw a pebble and find it out there.
Well, yeah, where you have a guy who is hired or assigned to do one job to infiltrate or to become with the people to get more knowledge to send back to home base. And once that happens, he or she sees the beauty of those people, sees the culture, becomes one, if you will, with that culture. Played by Sam Worthington, Sully, he definitely becomes one, like 100%.
But before you jump in, just to clarify, so when you were comparing the movies, you mentioned Matrix. Was that more for like the aspect of this?
Avatar.
Oh, because he uses his avatars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, that makes sense. I thought you were going because A, the science fiction CGI part, and then B, the one. Because
No,
technically he
no, well,
was chosen by another power to be,
right.
in essence, the prophesized one.
But we also have that in the sense of Fern Gully, I believe, and possibly with the Dance with Wolves in the sense where he's like the one that's going to help. But well, not Dance with Wolves. That's totally
Fern
different. It's
Gully
like
is a
not the one.
strong. I agree.
Yeah,
Fern Gully is like the in between the two of those. So yeah,
right.
I'll go with that. Okay,
But
I just want to
definitely,
clarify.
definitely, yeah. But definitely Matrix, where they have to go under and then go into the Matrix world. They use an avatar.
Mm, yeah.
They have their own avatar because it's not reality, right? And they have to lay down and have to go into a trance, if you will, let the neurons kick in.
They do get
Anyway,
jacked in through the back of the neck.
not here. They're laying on a bed. They lay on the bed, and then like a
Yeah, but
sensory
the
thing just on
Navi
top of it.
essentially get jacked
Oh,
in.
well, it's right with their tail. They get
Yeah,
jacked in. Well, that's how they connect to their world.
exactly. So
And
it's like
and
avatar upon avatar.
and this can also be in viewed as a well. This is a very political movie, if in the sense of how the U.S. was taken.
Which falls
The
in line with Dances with Wolves concept because that was pretty much the same thing. And
the indigenous people were called savages. They have bow and arrows. Their talk is very similar to the Native American tongue.
hmm
They believed that everything is connected.
correct. And
Everything is part of one. Like you communicate. There's also in ties of like the internet because that tree with the lights, the branches. They said you can connect to everything. You can get all the information you need, like pretty much from there.
Correct.
So you have so many aspects of history of today, nice in a way where it's like a pretty much like a definitely a melting pot. And as I mentioned before, with the putting in the titles of other movies, yeah, that was smart and that was original.
Yeah.
But the story in itself is not. I think I saw it twice. I may have seen it twice in the theater because that was a type of movie like that is a great movie to see in the theaters, especially in IMAX. But I never saw it again. It was like more like a one and done for me at that time. Seeing it again, similar.
Yeah. The only other times I remember watching it probably was like with our parents, and but other than that, I had no drive to watch it again, except for knowing that the new movie's coming out. I'm like, okay, we should watch it.
Right.
But even now, like after watching it, I'm like, I'm good for another decade.
Right. I mean, especially again, like I said, like the story is lacks originality in that aspect.
Yeah.
What's cool or was I found original was
Navi,
how that species comes about. How, you know, in the sense of they connect and so like into the world. Like again, very Native American influenced. I had a great pleasure in watching Zoe Saldana playing Neytiri, and then I'm sorry, not Sam, but Stephen Lang, Arnold Miles. He was like the archetype bad guy in a way.
Yeah.
He was focused. He had he's military. So what he has to do, he has a goal to hit. He has a mission to accomplish, and nothing from a seasoned soldier, nothing's going to get in the way of accomplishing that goal or accomplishing that mission.
Which makes him seem like that bad guy, but an honest, like you're right. He's like a dog with a target. It's like he just focuses on that target. Now, granted, if you're not on his side, because he views everything as he's like that seasoned soldier from all like, what's that, Samuel L. Jackson, or like a film like where he's a military, like basically you take any of your old military films, especially the ones that were on trial, and you take that old soldier who's like,
oh, you're talking about Jack Nicholson?
Yeah, well, there was that one with Jack Nicholson, but there was also the one with Samuel Jackson where they went to trial. Yeah, one of them did. I hope they all burn in hell too. Something like that.
Sam Jackson, military?
Yeah, he's done a few military films.
Arnold Miles. He doesn't see himself as the bad guy. He doesn't. And that's what a lot of villains do. They don't see themselves as the bad guy. They see the hero of their story. And then you also have the pencil pusher played by Giovanni Ribisi, which he's an awesome actor himself. He's done so many great works, and he was a pleasure. It was kind of seeing him play like another bad guy, but a pencil pusher. Like again, this is very not common, but very close to what we have witnessed in today, in the sense of the military is led by corporations. A lot of them are, in the sense, or mercenaries are, in the sense that they'll pay top dollars to get what they want. They're money hungry. They want the oil. They want the best. They want the sources that where they're going, where they're mining. Here was that stone or that rock, at that mineral. And so that's what corporate does. They don't care what they have to do. The rainforests are getting cut down for corporate greed. The environment is being destroyed just for corporate greed, simply for corporate greed. And it's just infuriating in my opinion. There's so many beautiful things, and if you destroy the environment, you end up destroying yourself. But anyway, any luck with that Sam Jackson movie that you're referencing?
Rules of Engagement. It's like right when you said that, I pulled up. Yeah, he has a line in there where they have him on trial, and he's like, "Yeah, I ordered, I made the order, and I hope they all burn in hell too." Some along those lines. I'm effing up the line,
right?
But Samuel L. Jackson, he's hitting that point. Yeah. But that's the type of visioning I have of the Marines, and you're absolutely right about everything you just said. And I'm gonna talk about I want to talk about the Marines themselves. Like there are some Marines that are cliche, like that one ball guy who's like, "Get some," and he had that weak ass yell at the end when he died.
Well, that's the thing. Like a lot of military, talk about it now, because we have that military that they're there to destroy.
Yes.
They're there to destroy. They'll happy take orders to destroy, kill a population.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have some that are hesitant. And then you have others like Michelle Rodriguez's character that sees it wrong, or and Sam Worthington's character, they see it as wrong. Like,
Correct.
no.
Mm-hmm.
Once they get more information, once they're seeing the reality, they're not following the orders, or they're not as gung ho. So you see here that play of differences, because you have some people, like I said, like that toe the line, they're not sure, they'll follow, but they're like, some
Mm-hmm.
are going, yeah, hell yeah, hoorah, let's do it. And then you have someone like, no, this is wrong. Like their conscious kicks in.
And here's the interesting thing: like the main military guy, you said his name before, Colonel Miles.
Mm-hmm.
He was like you could forget. We all forget all the other Marines except for Michelle Rodriguez's character because he embodied what they were, and
Mm-hmm.
that intensity he brought to the role was fantastic. Arguably typecast him for a while for his performances, but he's a very
Well,
intimidating actor. He's done other stuff.
he was out of the picture for a while, I believe, and this movie brought him back in the sense of the limelight. He did a couple of movies that were
Yeah, I just noticed
big.
he was in Tombstone,
Yeah,
and
yeah, he was too. He was the cowboy that always get his ass kicked.
yeah, I didn't even know that until I just read this now.
Yeah, I remember he was awesome in that.
Yeah.
But then, like you said, like he did stop a while, disappeared a little bit, or not in the limelight. Let me say that, not so much noticeable big roles.
He did a lot of
Like,
TV
hmm
movies for a
he did one
long
with Mike.
time.
He did one with Michael J. Fox. He was a killer, a serial killer, something like that. Awesome, and he was jacked in that one. This
Yeah.
movie, he was free. He pumped up, and he stayed like that for a while after this movie. He stayed in that
More
shape.
recently, he's like thinned down,
Mm-hmm.
but like he still carries a strong presence. But either way, like you know what, I kept going, and this was helped by some of the Marines equipment because like
Mm-hmm.
the aircrafts, the mech suits, the
Yes,
style that they had. Bro, my mind went
very
to
alien.
aliens. Yeah.
Yeah.
You take the alien mech suit from there, you cross that with the copters that they will come in. It was almost
Mm-hmm.
par for par and going for it. And then I envisioned him as like one of the Marines, like if he was a survivor from one of the alien battles and he like came
Yeah.
in, because like you would be hard as nails too if you survived that.
It won't be far fetched if it's part of the same world, because James Cameron did direct, and I think he wrote Aliens.
He was part of the pitch meeting for the aliens.
Right. Well,
Uh,
you know what that pitch meeting was,
just him writing the word alien and
and
the
then
S
S
and two lines over the S.
dollar sign. Right.
Didn't say a thing. Ballsy
Like I said,
move, and it worked.
like I said, the story is weak. It is visually beautiful. It is moving. I mean, I did feel for the Navi people.
Yeah.
I felt for them. They're a beautiful race, beautiful culture, and because I do have, I'm gonna say a connection, but a appreciation of the Native American culture, where everything is connected, almost because it's here I go again. Everything relates to the force,
Fair enough.
energy, and that's how the force works. It's all connecting. It's all connected. I'm sorry. And then you have Wes Studi, and I love Wes Studi. He played Geronimo in that biopic film. He was Sagat in that horrific Street Fighter the movie.
It's a cult classic for a reason. Raul Julia.
But Wes Studi's in that, and he did some other films too, of course.
Yep.
I think he was. The Last of Mohicans was where we knew him, globally from that movie. But anyway, is there a scene that you enjoyed?
The most enjoyable scenes are like the artistic scenes, like when he's climbing and mounting the banshee for the first time and like getting into that, or like when they're doing the montage of him training and stuff like that. When you really get to enjoy the environment. I kind of found it funny the scene where he's like enjoying the flowers on his first mission and he gets chased by the rhino. No, the rhino approaches him and he's like, "Yeah, bitch, back off. He's like, my turn. And then there's like the giant
Yeah,
panther thing is behind him.
right. Now
Um,
that panther or dog blend, that looks so familiar from something else. I don't know from where I've seen that kind of like the face. It's from another sci-fi film, exactly.
Predator.
Oh, is that what it is?
Well, it's not one of his projects, but like, I mean, it kind of had a predator, like one of the predator dogs from
Right.
Predators.
That's what it was. Okay. I was
Yeah.
looking like, why do I, this all looks familiar? That's what it was.
Yeah. I was coming up with I know for a fact that like they
And
probably
also
have,
from Willow, those
dude,
dog
at the
beasts.
beginning, the sound score had moments that reminded me of Willow. I'm not going to lie. Like, I was feeling like at the beginning of the movie, I'm like, that sounds like the sound score from Willow.
Well, you won't believe this, but that is the composer of Willow.
Damn, I'm good.
James
I'm usually never get that.
James Horner was the composer of Willow and of Avatar. So yeah, for me, what I really liked was him connecting to that flying creature.
That's what I was talking about. Or you're talking about the
Oh,
big one or the first one?
well, the first one, because the big one was really nothing. He just landed on it and then
Yeah.
cut to black. But that first one, yes. And I couldn't help but, even though this movie came out before, I couldn't help but think of How to Train Your Dragon.
I double checked. I was like, I had to be sure. Like, did How to Train Your Dragon come out before? And this was a year
No,
before. I was like, toothless.
Jake Sully is really getting into the culture where he's like showing his fangs and
Mm-hmm.
really, and it's just amazing how like so much of this was like CGI and motion capture, especially
Yeah.
with them. All that
Mm-hmm.
was motion capture. They had to wear a suit. They're in a sound stage, a close up sound stage with the dots on. Now, there are some inconsistencies here. There are some plot holes.
Absolutely.
Michelle Rodriguez's character, where she's on that helicopter, she's wearing the helmet, the oxygen mask once, maybe twice. But every time she's flying, for the most part, every time she's flying, doesn't have it on. And it's not like the ship is closed, or the helicopter is closed. The sides are open.
I'm trying to remember if I saw the other pilots like that too. Because I know the
Well,
pilot, like in the big cargo copter, that was the case, but
the big one with the major,
they
there's
had
no mask
space.
because
Yeah.
it's closed off.
Yeah.
Where her and her chopper, the side panels to shoot and all that stuff to get out and get in, it was open.
Mm-hmm.
The only time that she really had the mask on was when they moved that container up on the hills.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the only time she really had the mask on. But for everything else, she didn't really have the helmet on or the air mask.
Like when they were first attacking the Navi, they had the.
Right.
I can understand if they close the side doors, then yeah,
Right.
you can make
But
a
that was
vacuum.
open.
But that was open. Yeah, that makes sense. What you're saying. Yeah.
And you could see when the camera was on her that you could see past her, the doors were open.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could see terrain going by. So that didn't make no sense to me. She could breathe the air,
Mm-hmm.
apparently. Yeah, so that was the only issue I had in that sense of the
Continuity.
continuity, yeah, or loophole, whatever, or what have you.
I wondered. I mean, they didn't really clarify how long it was, but like when they had him in a like a jail cell, she's like, "It's been a long time, guys," or something like that. Like,
Oh, when they first get arrested?
when they first get arrested, like that line made me feel like it was longer than just a day or two. Granted, they didn't really state how long it was, but I was like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, then it made me think. First of all, like I started thinking, how does their avatars survive? Because then I'm like, because if they're not in the avatars are just limp, dead like, and in a coma stasis, but they don't feed.
Well, it wasn't that long because remember he wakes up and it's still like dust, ashes falling when he wakes up when he connects back to his avatar.
Yeah, but I was just thinking in general, like,
What I think
now
was
Sully has to eat twice a day, like twice as normal.
well, yeah, but it was probably 2, maybe 3 days, possibly, because they had to get arrested, they got to get arraigned, they have They have to be locked up. But I'm thinking what you're saying, and says like she talking to the guard, like it's been a long time. It's probably something with those two, their history
Maybe.
that we don't know about, that we don't mean, like he hasn't seen her in a while. I mean, I'm surprised she didn't get arrested either, because she didn't allow the fire. She didn't shoot off her missiles, and she wasn't in the chopper alone. There was all the soldiers behind.
Yeah, she pulled out.
When you disobey an order, court martial can happen. You get put in the brig. You get punished.
Well, but here's the thing that also begs the question: how sanctioned was that request to like blow up the? I mean, because they're technically 5 years out from Earth. They can't make immediate.
The major is the immediate
command. Yes.
He's giving you orders.
There's always like a, like if you're going to be disobeying things, there's like a chain. Like I say that because like when they go to escape, right? Mm-hmm. There's no call for like warning shot. There's no command to stand down. There's no orders to her or anything like that. Major just busts open the door, makes blatant open fire on the helicopter, and which ends up, shooting Sigourney Weaver. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. That's you still have a chain of action that you have to do. Like,
no, if he's the head honcho, there's nothing. He's the head.
I feel like this is where I would be like, we need to talk to Dad, because like there should be like a process of action or anything like that.
But he's the head honcho.
Yeah,
he's at that location. He's the top dog.
I get that.
Right. There are top dogs.
I'm just saying
there's top dogs. Right. But there's top dogs there. So he reacted because they were escaping. It would have been too late if other people came out. So the shortest line is a straight line. So that's what he did. He just went right to it. I mean, heck, he didn't even give a chance to put on the air mask on.
No, well, that's just to show how badass he was. It wasn't like the mask wasn't there. They were all in reaching distance.
Well, he told everyone, put the air mask on. And he had enough time to do that, but he didn't have time to put it on himself. I mean, even though it was a long ass movie, it was almost 3 hours long, there's really not much more to go. It is entertaining film.
Mm-hmm. All the action's really at the end.
Oh yeah, definitely at the end. Well, there's some action. Him taming the beast, him running away from that dog creature in the rhino of hammerhead looking one. I mean, it's sprinkled here and there until the end, right? When it really counts. And I keep forgetting, like, in a sense, I'm so used to looking at the Avatar that when they hit regular people with their arrows, I kept forgetting that how big their weapons are, or how big they are.
Perspective, yeah.
The perspective was, I was like, what? I was like, wow, holy crap, they're freaking he's getting speared. He's not getting arrowed. He's getting speared.
I forgot about that one point too. Was there any scenes you didn't like or that didn't make sense to you?
Well, that was the one with Michelle Rodriguez. That didn't make sense, where she's wearing a mask, not wearing a mask, where the air is poisonous to humans.
Well, I mean, for me, I did have one also involving Michelle Rodriguez, was when they were going to defend the Holy Land, as it were, and they were doing the ambush against the bomber. Two things. I'm like, one, both Michelle Rodriguez and Sully, they're supposed to be military. They're experienced. They have the know-how they know what's coming their way. And I feel like they didn't plan properly. Yeah, they had an ambush ready, but they knew like this is what they're going to come in with. We need to target this item first. We had the high ground,
right?
Like Star Wars style. Like, I have the high ground, and again, don't be foolish. They didn't they didn't utilize the high ground enough. And then secondly, and this was my big one, Michelle Rodriguez. I liked her as a performer, like mostly as a performance, but the helicopter ship that she has that has functioning gunner comes in. Well, she doesn't target the bomber. She targets the colonel, but she doesn't aim for anything worthwhile on the colonel's ship. Flips around and just stands right in front of the colonel with the helicopter. He's like, you're not the only one with guns too. And then he's like, light her up. And then obviously
she could have shot him, like, hit the window, hit the pilot, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
He had four engines like on either side. It was like a helicarrier.
Well,
she came from above in the rear.
Right, but she could have also like shot from going down, could have hit the front, the cockpit, break the glass, make them freak out, have to get the air masks, temporarily lose control, maybe whatever. There's
There was
multiple
like
options,
5 different options she could have
and she
aimed at.
probably had. Well, they took it out right away, because the pilot wasn't prepared. But there's usually rockets on those things, so she didn't use that. So yeah, it was more like she was like definitely a throwaway character, or end up being
Yeah,
a throwaway character.
and that's why I didn't like. Like she was the one potential not to be a throwaway character, and like
Mm-hmm.
at that time she was like a star. She had a lot of starring
Right.
power, and it was like, and she was treated like a throwaway. You could have had a number of people do that role, in all
Mm-hmm.
honesty, and so it wasn't done with respect for that character's role. And I just it didn't make sense. I'm not
Right.
military. I'm not anything. I game, so
Right.
I'm like logically, I'm just
Well,
like
yeah,
you can hit
especially
things.
yeah, in the sense that game plan, and you're right. Strategically, it was not of sound mind. Where yes, her and Sully could have prepared things like we'll do this, we'll distract, and you come from behind. Your job is to take out the bombers. We'll take care of this. Right, could have done that.
That too.
Too many opportunities. But okay, here comes another thing. So,
Now that we're talking about this,
well, yeah, well, in the sense of perspective, so those communication devices they had on the neck.
yeah, he shared it with the his brother.
Right, but what I'm getting at is like how big are they? Because my neck definitely is not the same size as those or theirs. If their arrows are actual spears, their
Yeah.
necks need to be as big as wide as my waist or wider.
Yeah, and that was
So,
like it made me wonder
mm,
two things about that now that you mention that, like where they get all the equipment. I don't remember them stealing the equipment from the base when they escaped.
they stole some stuff, and I believe also they had it in their cargo thing. Like, so some
Okay,
cargo, even though it's very military, they probably had it in the ship, in the helicopter, possibly. But it was a lot. It was like what, one, two, four. It was three, definitely three,
I mean
four,
there's at least there had to have been at least four because there was
four. It was Sully.
the two
It was
avatars and his wife and
and
his
the two,
brother
right, and Michelle Rodriguez. If she had that, she probably had it in the
and the comms.
connected the
Yeah,
comms, right? But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I believe they. I think I saw them grab stuff, but the size, it should not. I don't know if
yeah.
they expand that way. That big. But,
It's a collapsible
and
stock.
and also it wouldn't be here on the Navi. It would be like here in the sense of because there was two of them, so it'd have been here. So you want to be going like this. You'd be like, hey, touching it right here.
I thought you just went like this.
No, it was like they were using both. It wouldn't be here on regular sized comm links. They'll be like down here. Those are minor things, whatever. It's just, but after you sit down and like, wait a minute,
I mean, think about
it
it.
doesn't make sense. Yeah, when you think about it, after seeing it, I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't. Yeah, the spears that's tall, but yeah, I mean, it's an enjoyable film since 2009. It's my third time watching it. In my opinion, not that good
Is it worth the buy?
overall. No, not for me. It is definitely worth the watch due to the sequel coming out and see like what we missed and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And also, Sigourney Weaver is in the sequel. So now we're going to see how that happened.
I'm
How
still,
did she be?
yeah,
Did
I'm trying to contemplate
she,
that. I did like Sigourney
I
Weaver in this
think,
film.
yeah, I did too. I think it's because like her consciousness, what it didn't give enough time to go to transition into the avatar, but it's like they downloaded her consciousness into the earth.
So like she's part of
So,
the ancestors.
yeah. So I mean, if that's how they present it, okay, I'm down with that. It makes sense to me. Maybe
Not like she'd come
her
back as another avatar.
she does come back as another avatar,
What?
I believe, or something like that. And then in the way of water, there's a human wearing the air mask and like that. So now we got to see where that
Well,
how he came about.
yeah, how, yeah. I don't, you know what's funny? Every time you say The Way of Water, I know that's the title, but I keep thinking like, it's a Bruce Lee film. It's like you're gonna see this one Navi
Or
tribe that's gonna be like
right.
doing like kung fu in the background or Jeet Kune Do.
Well, I mean, there are like I believe there's three more films in the works.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like a 5 film
I think so.
series.
So,
Yeah.
and this movie was more about air. This one's gonna be more about the coming up is obviously gonna be about water.
Yeah.
I hope it's not that long. My God, what almost
I mean,
12 years now? It's 12 years.
the reason why they delayed it was because he wanted technology to get to the point where he was comfortable with it. I'm like, bro, you were already there. Just let it go. How much more?
This movie I just saw in 2022, originally came out in 2009. It doesn't skip a beat.
I mean, graphically, you could
It's not
tell
like
there's a little
it's
bit
not
of a
like
difference, but it still
right.
holds up arguably in
Oh
comparison to a
no,
lot of films that are out there.
it's not like Willow.
Yeah, and we're saying this
That comparison,
purely like graphically, like it
right?
holds up
Oh,
very
definitely.
well.
Multiple aspects in the sense of technology and CGI and
Hmm.
all that stuff. Let's go to comparison reviews or review comparisons. The Rotten Tomato critics has given it an 82%. The audience review also 82%. That's a tie. Professional critics, you have 332 reviews. You have over 250,000 reviews of regular audience, the fans. Do you agree with 82%? Do you find it a little higher or a little lower?
For me, that's fair. Like when it first came out, probably would have gave it higher just because.
Mm,
But as of
right.
right now, it's a one and done, and like it's worth a watch. But I'm not gonna be like, you know what? I feel an itch to watch some Avatar today.
Fair enough. I will say C plus,
Yeah,
B
82
minus.
C plus. Yeah, I'm like, is
I
a
would
B
give it more.
minus a C plus? Right
I would
around
give it
there.
more of like an 80%, not 82.
Oh, you're
Just
taking
take it
some
down.
points.
Yeah, that's just me back then because I said like if the story was better.
The story is not unique.
All right, guys, that is our throwback review of 2009's Avatar. Let us know what you think. If there's a movie or a show you want us to review, please let us know by emailing us at tellsthetwobros@gmail.com. Until next time, we'll be the next time. I'm Angel.
I'm Adan.
Love you.
Love you, bro.